You'll make this rather snappy, won't you? I have some very heavy thinking to do before 10 o'clock.
All right, good evening. Welcome into Greeny Sports Cards Live. If you are seeing me on your streams here socially on your platforms, that means it's Tuesday evening. We are live 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Times as we do every Tuesday night here on Greeny Sports Cards Live from 7 to 8 p.m. Thank you for joining us. You can like, comment, interact with the show, and we encourage you to do so because we have a big one this evening. And can't wait to get rolling. Jam-packed show as we continue to bring athletes, influencers, coaches, collectible impresarios, producers, and hobby insiders. And we've got plenty of that this evening. Give you a little bit of a breakdown of how this is going to work. First, we'll get into the rundown, talk you through the show this evening, and then we will get into it. So let's do it. So we will bring on the man himself, Greeny, here shortly, proprietor, owner of Greeny Sports Cards, the namesake on the show, and we'll get into it with Greeny. And we will educate you as we can, drop you some knowledge in our Today I Learned segment. We've got some K-pop stuff for you to talk about. We've got some other interesting things, Magic the Gathering, some wartime cards, insight. And throughout the show, we will thank our sponsors, of course, Collectibles on SI, Sport Card Auctions, Giannino's Pizzeria, and a multitude of others that help us produce this sports card nonsense. We will get into hobby news and views with Joe Wismirski, our hobby insider. You can catch Joe on Sports Cut the Nonsense on the Sports Cards Nonsense Network. And of course, Phoenix Card Shop is where he is physically located out there towards the West Coast. We will get to talk to Andrew Reimer, owner of Hall of Framers located near us in Bree, Ohio, just up the road from Cleveland Browns headquarters and training camp. And we'll talk to him about his journey and memorabilia and the collectible space and all kinds of cool stuff that he has going on along with his insight. We will get into Card Show Live. There is no shortage of card shows throughout the country, especially the malls this week. Plenty of mall shows. And then there's 3 big shows to get into. And we will highlight that with our featured guest this evening from the card show world, and that is Jeff Roberts, of course, from the Nashville Card Show, aka the National. And can't wait to talk to Jeff, a longtime producer. He's got a lot of insight, produces one of the biggest shows in the country, and we will get into it with him. So lots to cover tonight. Without further ado, let's bring in the man himself and say good evening to Steve Greenberg, aka Greeny. What's going on, my friend?
So you're going to do the Today I Learned segment. But I would like to know, what's that word that you just used? Impresarios. What is that?
So, kind of a leader in their field.
Sure. That's a first for me.
A lead horse.
Yeah.
A business maven, somebody who is to be admired, looked up to, and does it the right way. So
Well, maybe
It
one day
fits.
we'll get there. One day we'll get there.
Yeah, maybe one day. We've been called a heck of a lot worse. I know that.
That's right. That's right. But yeah, we
If
have
you
we have a
if
lot
you'd
to
like to
talk
call
about
us,
today.
drop those comments below on whatever stream you might be watching us.
And there's no shortage of things to get into today. One of them, and I know we don't normally talk sports, but our Cleveland Browns continue to stun us week after week, Jeremy. And as Kenny Rhoda said, they like to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory as they did this weekend. And then today, they traded their backup starting quarterback, Joe Flacco,
Yeah.
inside the division.
They may continue to surprise you, Greeny. I am not surprised after 5 decades of, you talk about nonsense, sports cards nonsense. This is literal sports nonsense. So we can do entire shows on Cleveland sports and sports talk, but that's not what we're here to do. We try to keep this focused on collectibles and from a national perspective, even though we are here in Cleveland, and continue to root on our teams. But we are rooting for cardboard and collectibles and memorabilia and jerseys and those kind of things.
The
And we
great
do want
thing
to thank.
is we will get to look at rookie quarterbacks, Dylan Gabriel and Shador Sanders, which will play a role in their cards' success or failure. So, I mean, it is a big deal for people that like to purchase rookie quarterbacks. So, they're going to play in Cleveland.
At least one of them, if not both of them. And the whole other subject, we will probably see Deshaun Watson on the field at some point this year. So we do want to thank one of our major sponsors of the show, Sport Card Auctions. Greeny, I know you use them significantly, and they're just a tremendous resource in the hobby space because you can turn your sport card collection into serious cash. At Sport Card Auctions, they make it simple. They've got professional authentication, they've got grading services, they have auction services. All you have to do is just ship them your cards and they will take care of the rest. They've got an expert team that will handle everything from the photography to the listing to the grading to the shipping. They've got 15 years of experience and a 99% satisfaction rating. So send them your vintage cards, your modern hits, and maximize your investment with Sport Card Auctions.
One of the things that we don't actually talk about with them, while I do send my cards to them to sell, I also bid on a lot of their auctions because they have a ton of great stuff on there. So if you go to their website, sportcardauctions.com, you can see every one of their eBay listings. You can click on them and go right to eBay and bid on tons of auctions, and they end every night. So that's one of the things we don't normally bring up. Not only can they sell your cards for them, you can also buy plenty from them.
Very cool. And like I said, you've got personal experience with that, Greeny, using Dave and his team. And
Absolutely.
yeah, turn your cards into cash if that's, not encouraging people to get rid of their personal collection. But if you want to make some money and you want to continue to invest in the hobby,
Or
that's
use
the
your
place
cash
to
and
do
buy
it.
their cards. It's easy as that.
Very good. Greeny, let's drop some knowledge here. Talk about what we've learned today. We've got a couple of things to cover. I think our generation and maybe around that is familiar with the Gulf War cards. Of course, those came out during the Gulf War, and there were some General Norman Schwarzkopf was sought after, and of course Saddam Hussein. But what I learned today was that the United States government actually once printed baseball cards as war propaganda. Well, before that, during World War II, the U.S. government printed trading cards featuring Allied leaders and Axis villains to boost morale and educate kids. These war cards were distributed in cereal boxes and school kits, and it was an early fusion of collectibles and civic messaging. So this has been going on for a while.
And probably highly collectible because there's probably not many of them out there.
Yeah, if you have some, let us know. If you've got any of those World War II war cards. Greeny, the other thing I learned today is about the rarest card. According to the Guinness Book of World Records, the rarest trading card in existence is a Magic the Gathering 1996 World Champion card. It was actually printed as a joke originally, and it was put off. It was actually put into the trophy, encased in a plaque. There's only one in existence. It was awarded to the champion that year in 1996, Tom Chanfang from Australia. It is still believed to be in his possession, but it is not publicly disclosed of its location. It continues to add mystery and intrigue to this legendary status. And it does spark the question, Greeny, which we can get into with Joe in a little bit too. What actually defines a collectible, the rarity of a collectible? Is it the scarcity? Is it the story? In some cases, it's the playability if you're talking Pokemon and Magic. But, a lot of debate with all the one-of-ones out there, what actually creates value. So, there you go. Today I learned, and if we want to continue the educational space, particularly for us, Greeny, because I know in my household, I am married. I have children, and especially on the daughter side, K-pop, if you're not familiar with it, is just enormous. It's what they're listening to. I don't understand any of it, but it is huge. And apparently there's a big collectible space for it too. And we want to bring in our producer, Haley, who is very familiar with K-pop and the collectible space. We're going to learn a little bit about this real quick before we get into with Joe and Hobby News. So let's say hi to Haley. She does exist. She's real.
I am real. After a year and a half, I've been on every show. You just never see me. But yeah, I'm back here.
So tell us about this K-pop phenomenon.
Yeah.
And how people can collect it.
Well, K-pop cards are something that have been really huge since I'd say like the early 2010s. And I can kind of bring up a couple photos as we're going through all of it. Like this is one of them here. So this is like part of a big set from an album called Hop of a group, Stray Kids, that I really like. So the origins of K-pop photo cards, they're kind of up in the air because J-pop, Japanese pop, actually did it first. But the first time a card was ever printed for a musical artist was actually Diana Ross and the Supremes in the 1960s. So this has been going on for a really long time, and this has just been a more common practice because of the declining sales within physical albums being sold. So it was kind of brought up as a way of look at these collectibles that you can get while you actually buy the physical CDs or vinyls, and you get certain sets as well as random drawings within there. So I've got some other ones that are up here with Stray Kids. So typically they're just like a selfie of them or just a photo of them in general. So they don't look like usual Pokemon or sports cards where they have stats or just more information on them about like teams and all of that. Typically they're pretty simple, but there are so many of them for every single group. ATs and hyphen, Stray Kids, Twice, BTS is the biggest K-pop group maybe ever. And yeah, it's pretty nuts. So this is like this just released about 2 months ago, this Karma album by Stray Kids. And yeah, there was cards in every single one of those albums. And it's a pretty huge industry. And there are groups dedicated to sharing them, trading them, buying them. And it's awesome.
And soon there'll be autographed versions.
What was that?
I'm sure there will be autographed versions eventually.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure there are, and people will go and get them signed. It's a whole different music world out there, and it's definitely helped album sales. I mean, Stray Kids were at the top of Billboard charts for a few like weeks, I think almost a month, like a K-pop group in America, because they are just so huge right now, especially with the rise of K-pop Demon Hunters, the movie. So I think it's a really cool fan culture experience. Yeah.
And more to come on that. Haley, we appreciate everything you do. As you know, we got to keep it moving. We got a packed show tonight. So more to come on K-pop. And we would love for you to continue to dig into that space and educate all of us on the world of K-pop.
Thank you.
Thanks, Haley. It's out there, Jeremy.
More to come from Haley as well. Greeny, we're going to have Hobby News coming up on the flip side of a word from our sponsor.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. I'm a year older now, so Mommy can give me Giannino's pizza. Hey, whoever thought of making a great tasting Giannino's pizza with all these fresh ingredients? They gotta be some kind of genius. More, Mommy.
Every Giannino's pizza is made with fresh dough, delicious tomato sauce without additives or preservatives, and fresh provolone cheese shredded daily. For a location near you, go to Gianninos.com.
You want a piece of me?
As I tell you every week, Jeremy, I use the Giannino's Italian dressing. It's terrific. I know this is sealed, but I really do use it every day. It's terrific, as well as their pizza and JoJo's and chicken.
Awesome. Our thanks to Giannino's, and it's time for hobby news. Greeny, I'm probably going to dip because it's less painful listening to Joe go on about the Detroit Tigers. But with that, we will bring in Joe Wismirski, our resident hobby insider, for hobby news.
Jeremy,
Birthday boy Joe.
Yes.
You just traveled around the sun again. Good for you.
Thank
Happy
you. I'm
birthday.
up, and I'm golden, which are, Haley will know, those are two K-pop references there from K-pop Demon Hunters. Having gals in my house too, I could go wild. I could sing the songs too. It is a phenomenon. She's 100% correct. And to see the crossover into the United States, even like a famous show like The White Lotus on HBO, they had the most famous K-pop actress in the world. Some people say it's the most famous person in the world. And she was from the band, I believe, called Blackpink. And it's absolutely huge. It's
big. Yeah, if you don't have kids of that space or familiar with it, I just can't believe the whole world. But Joe, what do you got this week besides your Tigers continuing to play on?
Yeah, we're playing on. We love excitement, Jeremy. So we let you win game 2, and then we stretched it on to a game 3 victory. Came out the gates against Seattle, won game 1. We weren't able to score enough runs to really cement a game 2 victory, but they're on right now, and hopefully we're doing well. And with that being said, Greeny, we have the second big release of baseball, which is it's kind of tying a bow on the product Bowman Chrome. It's the mega boxes that do release this week. The Bowman Chrome mega boxes, they have the Mojo refractors in here. That's really what you're looking for. You're looking for first Bowmans, getting some color going, but these Mojo parallels are what you're really seeking out in this product. Nick Kurtz, huge rookie card in this product as well.
So I know that this is a big deal in your shop, with the spring training there. And then Chris, who also works in the shop there, is really big on these Bowman Chrome and prospects, right? And we're happy that Chris was able to come in and give you some time to be on the show today. So we wanted to make sure to mention him. Who is he after this year? I know he's always after one or two guys.
So he's big on the Giants prospect Joshua Gonzalez. That's a big prospect for him. And then the rookie class that the A's have, if you're going to call them the Vegas A's, whatever, because they're out here. You're looking at Jacob Wilson, Nick Kurtz, Max Muncy. They're all here, and you can get those cards signed. So that's a huge group that people are going after. But Joshua Gonzalez is definitely who he's looking for. Typically, Bowman Chrome is historically, they have a lot of the prospects that go undrafted that are international prospects. So that's what you do find a lot in here. You see a prospect auto that's being shown. That's Jesus Mate for the Brewers. They're playing fantastic also right now. So it is a great product. It is affordable for you to jump in, to get some first Bowmans, to get some Mojos. And the product's cool every year that it comes out. So this is more of like a retail-based product, but you can find it in your hobby shops. This is a product that typically lands anywhere aftermarket from $50 to $80, depending on the excitement and as it grows.
This is a prospector lot, right? This is what this product is for, prospectors and for in-person autographs, like you said, out there in Phoenix for spring training and even fall ball for that.
Well, that's what I was going to say too, Steve. This has been, the release of the product has been fantastic because these base cards and just first Bowmans, they go for $1 to $8 per prospect because they're out here and they're signing. The other thing that's really cool too is when you have some of the autographers come in, they'll buy a ton of one player because they'll give these guys their baseball cards.
Yeah, right.
So
And they
that's
love it.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what else is really cool? And I sent it over to Haley is I know last week we did a little preview of SpongeBob, and we talked about, like, the enormity of this product and coming out. Fanatics reported just yesterday via Card Ladder the biggest SpongeBob sale, $21,500, which surpassed the $19,999 one-of-one. And it's a triple auto that they do have here. So, I mean, just a huge card for SpongeBob. And Steve, we were gone in 2 days, completely sold out, completely sold.
Yeah, I mean, it is. People love this stuff, the Disney, the pop culture, the non-sports. It's collected.
Steve, it's all over eBay too, and it is not cheap to get into this kind of stuff. The number to 150 cards, you're seeing anywhere from $15 to $20, and it goes all the way down from there. I think we have a card on our eBay that's a number to 10 that's almost $300 right now.
Wow.
For a SpongeBob card.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, and that's why Gary V, created V Friends. I mean, this is a culture, and it's very collected. I was on a call with him yesterday, and he talked about SpongeBob and non-sports and how much people are collecting it.
Now, are we just going to let this pass without addressing the name of this Squidward actor?
Roger? Bumpus?
Yeah.
Yeah. I said it right.
Yeah, you did.
it.
Roger. It's pronounced Roger, not bump ass.
You guys had mentioned my birthday earlier, so James, friend of the show, he actually had a color blast made of my my college program picture.
Oh,
The one-on-one.
that's fantastic.
Here's what's really fantastic is we're sorting through cards on the table, and a customer came in and just asked, how much do you guys want on that card? I was like, well, it's not free.
Well, that's the new people in the hobby. They just saw a color blast and they need it because they need to put you on Whatnot, and that's where you should go, Joe.
And that's what I told him. I said, that's actually me. I said, my buddy just here for my birthday. He's like,
yeah.
Oh.
Terrific.
So, hey, it's a limited
Hold that
week.
up, Joe. Hold that up again.
Yeah, it's a limited week of releases, but in a limited week, you have a color blast here.
It's terrific.
101.
That is terrific.
Custom card made, just something fun for sure.
We'll have James make some more. I'd like to get a signed one for my office. That'd be great.
Fantastic.
And we'll do that live next month when we do our show together from Phoenix Sports Cards.
Absolutely. When Greeny heads west.
Head west.
Greeny heads west. Joe, tell everybody where they could find you online and in the real world.
Hey, check us out at PHX Sports Cards on Instagram. Phoenix Sports Cards. We are here in Glendale, Arizona, 59th and Thunderbird. Check us out. We're here Tuesday through Sunday. And then every Wednesday on Cut the Nonsense, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Sports Cards Nonsense YouTube.
And on Spotify, you are now in the land of podcasts. Perfect.
Very cool.
Joe, we appreciate it. Tell Chris we said hello, and we will catch you next week.
All right, fantastic. Thanks, guys. Go Tigers.
Thanks, Joe. Happy birthday. Go Tigers, as it were. So, yeah, you can see Joe on Cut the Nonsense, part of the collectibles on SI Group, of course, Sports Cards Nonsense, and the presenter of our show. We appreciate all they do. Danny Black and his team do a tremendous job over there. Make sure you go to si.com/collectibles and learn all about collectibles on SI. Great articles, great content, great shows upcoming. And we want to keep it moving this evening, Greeny. We're going to welcome in our guest who's not that far down the road from us, Andrew Reimer. He's owner of Hall of Framers. It's a custom framing and sports memorabilia shop located in Berea, Ohio. And he has transformed what was the former home of the shop into Berea into a vibrant hub for collectors, fans, and community members. He's got a passion for preserving sports history, and he blends his craftsmanship with storytelling, offering everything from autographed collectibles to community-driven fundraisers. I'd like to welcome in our friend Andrew Reimer.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Hey, Andrew, we know you're in a little spotty internet area, so hopefully
Yeah,
we can
hopefully
get this.
hopefully it sounds all good.
So
Yeah.
you're not in Berea today when the news
I'm
broke.
no, I'm not. Yeah.
So,
Shocking news.
shocking. So you're in Berea, the home of the Cleveland Browns. You do a lot of framing. How many of those players come in to get things framed?
A handful. It kind of varies. A lot more coaches than players so far. I've kind of made a few connections on the defensive side of the football. Done some framing for those fellows, that unit, defensive back. Coach Lynch, I met him. He's very cool and very knowledgeable and just great energy. So it's fun being so close and just being able to use that network and help out community and just keep framing at a high level.
We know that you collected back when you were younger. How did you come to the conclusion that like the framing? Were you always into collecting jerseys or pieces of like the autograph 8x10s and brought this niche? Like how did that come about?
Yeah, so I would say it's all credit to my dad who started it back in 2006, his passion. And then we would go to shows when I was a young lad with him, and I'd always be like hunting for cards. I always wanted to find the Josh Cribbs rookie contender card. It was really hard to find in that era, especially for a special teams guy. Like I went to the show in the National Chicago, couldn't find it. Went to other shows in Taylor, Michigan, outside of Cleveland and Toledo. So I always have like certain guys that I really like. If I fall in love with their story and like their style of play, I would always try to go find. But my dad started the framing business, and it was a total fluke. And then we've just kind of carried on the legacy and keep doing it.
Andrew, your stuff is impeccable. You're not just a framer; you're an artist. What to you makes a collectible piece? What goes into creating a unique keepsake and a piece of memorabilia that people want to hang on their walls?
Well, first I would say it's all in the presentation of the frame. So if someone, a lot of people like don't know where to go, so we provide that service to help keep it all nice and things. But what makes it collectible is the fan and the stories that they fall in love with and the players that they love watching, the teams that they love watching. That's what makes Cleveland so special because I mean, win or lose, they are one of the they're the biggest diehard market out there. They've endured a lot. So I think it's based on the individuals, what they're into collecting, and then we have that capacity to turn it into a keepsake forever. So you're not just selling a product when you're selling collectibles or autographs or frames. It's a memory, it's nostalgia. Maybe you and Greeny went to a big game together, and you remember going, and you're like, man, I was at that game, so I got to buy that piece, right? So I think there's a significance in that connection.
Yes, as well as some of the pictures, jerseys. What's one of the coolest things that you've had the distinct pleasure of framing for somebody?
Are you ready for a laugh?
Sure.
How about a OJ Simpson framed jersey with a picture of the white Bronco in the frame? That one was off the wall. That was a different one. Some 1964 stock certificates signed by the entire Cleveland Browns World Championships. That's been really unique. And then also like game worn jerseys for players that come in or athletic trainers come in and get like a Denzel Ward gamer jersey frame. So those are a few. There's so many over the years. There's some things that I see. A gentleman just brought in to the shop a LeBron James high school upper deck signed jersey, and really early autograph. It was huge, and that's very unique just to kind of see like his career, because that's someone that I grew up watching, right? So, and he won in Cleveland. So if you win in Cleveland, you're all right.
Yeah.
Do you have a personal piece in your own collection that's a favorite, something that you might have created just for yourself?
Yeah, I like a lot of the historical things. I think it's important to preserve those, and it's nice to kind of like you can kind of see a photo from let's say like 1948 and like go back in time and be like, wow, what a different world it was then than it is today, right? And all those memories and stories and the lives that people lived. I have a 1948 Cleveland Browns team signed in pencil, entire team signed. That's really unique. I have a Stan Lee piece with all the characters that he created that's signed in silver. It's like holographic paper. That one's really special. So those are a couple. You know,
Now, you don't just frame sports items. I know you've been getting into like diplomas in high school, in college, and
yeah.
certificates. So there's a niche for everything, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Um, Providing the service is key to the market, and there's not a lot of people doing it at the level that we're doing it. So we really like to make the process easy. So if you're involved with a high school program or a college program, and you want to do senior awards or frame diplomas or jerseys, and get back to the school and raise money for fundraisers, so the shop in Berea is 5,000 square feet, and it's full of stuff from when we've been collecting, which we're going on 20 years. So there's a lot of different generations and eras in there. And then we also piggyback on providing that service for people, and using our contacts that way. So do a lot of stuff for Baldwin Wallace, the Cleveland Browns, Toledo Rockets, Toledo Walleye. So kind of building on that is key, because when COVID happened, um, a few like during that time period, I was very linear. I would only just be focused on the retail and selling a product, because that always brought me success in business. So when things kind of change, you kind of have to adapt to the market, and a lot changed right during that time. So really been doubling down, stacking the chips on providing the service and working with universities to develop those partnerships and those relationships, so we can go beyond the sport. It's not just the sport, it's all the stories and it's all the fans that make it special, all the people that collect, because we're all part of it, and we can, kind of manifest together and just have fun doing it. So
City of Berea is a really unique, special place, and it surprises people. You've got, as you mentioned, the University, Baldwin Wallace. Just up the road, you've got Browns training camp, a stone's throw away from Cleveland Hopkins International Airport. The Browns are putting about $150 million into their complex to develop that out. You've got downtown Berea. There's a Lake Co. It's a really neat area, and your shop, Andrew, it really is surprising, because it's not that it's nondescript from the street, but you really can't tell how massive and intricate it really is. So once you step through the doors, take us through the shop, what people will see and experience once they walk into Hall of Framers.
yeah, so when you're on Front Street, and there's two entrances. So if you're on Front Street looking at our shop, it's right next to Mike's. That's the best eats in Berea. So I'm going to shout out Mike's there real quick. And then you'll see a front door. It's pretty loud, that we painted. And it's the orange and brown, white kind of helmet that the Cleveland Browns have. That's the front door. So the door is very loud, and you walk in on the first level, and you walk in, and there's about six showcases, glass showcases. There's 6-footers, so there's about 42 feet of showcases. So there's cards, game used bats, all sorts of different goodies in the showcases. And the intent that we wanted to do, because we did a lot of mall stores over the years. So I did a lot of pop-up locations, and I did we use slat wall a lot of the time. It's very heavy, you got to cut it. It's always fun hanging up and taking down. So we wanted to change that and have a completely new vibe. And so we did a gallery setting. So you kind of walk in, and you can kind of just explore for yourself. It's very more like low key, in the sense of, we encourage you to just go on the journey and take your time as you go through, because there's probably over 2,000 different products in there. So we wanted a more like natural kind of feel when you step in. So you'll see a lot of custom frames. 98% of the store is probably autographed, original, hand signed. Most things are signed in there. I'm a autograph nut. I mean, I just love it. So you're gonna see a ton of frames. You kind of walk around the gallery, and you're gonna go up the stairs, and that splits off. And there's more. There's a dog pound bench from 1999. There's a Cleveland Guardians renovation seat. Different things that you don't see all the time. We like to try to do that. You'll see a lot of Cleveland Browns alumni banners and flags in the shop that are hung up, that were part of the Cleveland's Legend Club, which found their way to me. Jim Brown, like 20-foot, 24-foot Jim Brown and Gene Hickerson banners, Ring of Honor banners. So very unique, very different. And then not just on the sports stuff too. We also, if you come out the back hallway, so you're upstairs there, we have an oddball collection. So movies, music, historical pieces, right? So movie posters, video game items. I sold some Grand Theft Auto Vice City pieces at Collecticon, Halo, on original Xbox, Star Wars. So there's when you walk in, there should be something for everyone. So that's kind of what we were hoping for. It's not just sports, but although that's kind of how we started as Hall of Framers, is a lot of sports, but we're branching out as you talked about SpongeBob, and I saw that card sell for 21,000. I love that cartoon when I was a kid and all the Pulp Fiction stuff. So it's cool. So collecting's cool because there's something for everyone, and we're trying to grow into that space, and it's been a ride.
So where can people find your shop in Berea? What's the address there?
It is 138 Front Street, Berea, Ohio, right next to Mike's. And then our website is hofcle.com. If you're on Instagram at all, it's Hall of Framers. And then Facebook is Hall of Framers Cleveland. You can find us on there. We post content, new products. We do raffles and do a lot of fundraising. So if anyone ever needs anything like that, we're happy to help add to your cause as well.
And you do ship. It's one thing that people are like, man, it's tough to ship that stuff, but I know you have found a way to
We have
actually
found a
ship.
way. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We found a way. We're making our own crates. Shout out to Robbie and Gage for being able to do those things for us. Takes the weight off my plate. So the biggest challenge in shipping a frame is it's expensive, glass breaks, and you want to insure the item. So we've finally figured out how to do that. We make our own crates, and we're like 5 for 5 so far on shipping. And
Nice.
Perfect.
that's my goal, is always to have someone be happy with their experience. So we found a way to do that. So we're going to list more of that.
So shout out Robbie, Gage, Mike from Mike's Place, and shout out to you, Andrew. Continue the
Thank you so
great
much.
work. We appreciate everything you do, and we look forward to having you back.
Yeah, I'd love to come back. Maybe we can give away a piece or something. And then Janino's Pizza, very good. Lakewood, right? Third place.
It's all over Cleveland. They
Yeah.
have so
All over.
many locations.
Yeah,
But
very good. I always go to the Lakewood one in third place. Shout out Jeff
Yeah.
Harris.
Yeah, perfect.
He's a huge Bears fan. So,
Yeah, great.
Awesome.
Andrew, we appreciate your time. We'll catch up with you again soon.
all right. Thank you so much, fellas.
You got it.
Go Browns.
Thanks. Yeah.
Go Browns. Go Browns.
Yeah. His shop
you're
is
going
really
somewhere.
amazing. Yeah.
It is very cool. And that's, you really can't tell how awesome it is from the street. It's a pretty cool front, but when you walk in, you're just like, whoa, you've got cases upon cases, and there's 2 levels to it. It's pretty awesome. But Greeny, we got to keep it moving. It is time for Card Show Live.
Yeah. Jeremy, we are back with another episode of Card Show Live. And as last week goes, and next week goes, and this week, there is no shortage of card shows around the country. It seems like this week, though, in particular, is like the week of the mall show. And really, those are coming back because malls are so large and you can fit a ton of tables in there. But, I don't even know how many there are, but I did write down a bunch, and I'm just going to rattle them off. And you can go to replay this later. We'll put a post up later. But, there's everywhere from Battlefield Mall in Springfield, Missouri, which is not far from where my sister lives. So maybe one day I'll get there. Newtown Mall in New Philly, Ohio, Laurel Mall in Hazleton, PA, Moortown Mall in where? Moortown, New Jersey, right? Grand Central Mall in Vienna, West Virginia, Capital City Mall in Camp Hill, Pennsylvania, and Cedar Falls College Square Mall in Iowa. And that's just the few that I found on a quick search. And not to mention our own show that we're producing at Great Northern Mall in North Olmsted. And we're doing that with our friend Justin at J&J Sports Cards. Last count this morning, I think there's like 130 tables there. So it's going to be a terrific show, and it's going to be a ton of sports, a ton of Pokemon, which has been kind of the norm lately. And we're going to talk to Jeff about that as well. But a great mix of both, and TCG sports, autograph frames. I think Andrew will probably be there, and tons of other things. So our show will be Great Northern Mall. It's on greeniesportscards.com, Friday, Saturday, mall hours 11 to 8. And I'm sure with any mall, it's going to be those typical mall hours. Long days, but a lot of traffic. And, and really those are starting to come back, the malls. So you could get to Beckett.com or Hobby Box app. I mean, there's plenty of places now to go find where some of these shows are.
Greeny, one of the unique things about these mall shows too, because there's some consternation in the chat rooms, if you will, on paying for card shows, paying to get in versus the mall shows, which typically are free because they're in a mall and you can't really control the space. And we could do a whole other show on
Sure.
the expense and the time and effort that goes into producing these shows. But if you don't want to pay them nominal cover charge to get into these big, awesome shows, a mall show is right up your alley.
That's right. And, moving on to some of the other shows to highlight, there's one on the West Coast, the Regional SoCal Cards and Collectibles Show. I wanted to kind of mention that because we don't really talk about the West Coast a lot. I know we've talked about Phoenix and such, but California, as large of a state it is, Jeremy, has no shortage of card shows. And this one is at a Marriott in Garden Grove, California, with about 140 tables. You can find everything on their Instagram and Facebook page, the Regional SoCal Card Show. Right there, 10 to 4. That's October the 18th, and that's a free entry show. So I know some are leaning towards that, but we wanted to mention that. The Marriott in Garden Grove, California. And then our small show of the week, while may seem small at 40 tables, this is a pretty mighty show at the Texas Sports Hall of Fame. And I sent them a message because I wanted to learn a little bit about it. And Britt Britton, who runs this show, actually sent me some, and I just want to read it because it's pretty interesting. So the Texas Sports Collectibles Show has been running for 15 years, originally promoted by legendary dealer Larry Dooley of Sports Collectibles of Houston. It's quickly growing to one of the premier events in Texas. They started by bringing in guests. Britt did as autographers and have since taken over the show, where it's held inside the Texas Sports Hall of Fame, one of the best venues that you can find. It also is the home of the Nolan Ryan Hall of Fame, the Texas High School Hall of Fame, and the SWC Hall of Fame for the College Athletic Conference. They have some autographers that are scheduled to be this year. Student athletes that go to Baylor, but also highlighted by Billy Joe Dupree, former Dallas Cowboy legend. Their local ESPN is going to be broadcasting live with the voice of Baylor, John Morris. So they're also going to have several card shops represented. Bankston is one of the ones that they wanted to highlight, but pretty cool for 40 tables. That's a pretty mighty show there at the Texas Sports Hall of Fame. So I wanted to give them a quick shout out. 2-day show, the 10th and 11th.
Get all the ancillary stuff with that. So plenty of shows across the country, but none may be bigger than the Nashville Card Show, of course, affectionately referred to as the National. And that is produced, of course, by Jeff Roberts. Since its founding in 2011, Jeff has grown this event into one of the premier regional showcases for sports cards and collectibles in the United States. It's held at the Fairgrounds, Nashville. Show draws collectors, dealers, and fans from across the country for a family-friendly celebration of hobby culture. Hundreds and hundreds of tables and autograph guests and other hobby-related services that we will get into specifically with the man himself. And we will welcome in to the show the legendary Jeff Roberts.
Well, appreciate the nice compliment.
Yeah. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for joining us. We joked earlier that we now have come to doing this technology part of promoting shows, and this being one of them. But we appreciate your time, and we want to talk a little bit about the National in Nashville.
Okay.
Yeah. So we joked earlier that's just going to be a small gathering of friends trading cards, but how small has this large show become, Jeff?
Well, our show next week, we've got over 350 deals and right at 1,000 tables. We have a trade night on Friday and Saturday night, which is getting bigger every show. We probably have, I don't know, several hundred come to it. Like I said, every show has gotten bigger. But ours is a family-friendly show, and parents feel comfortable bringing their kids with them. But we have, sports, the new stuff, vintage, Um, Pokemon has started growing at our show. We probably 25 to 30% of our dealers now are Pokemon guys.
So
I just
take
can't.
us back a little bit. You've been doing shows in the Nashville area for 15 years, right? You do the
Correct.
Lighthouse School, and you've had some other places. So take us back to how you really got into this and how you started to getting into producing shows.
Well, I've been collecting cards since I was probably 10 back in the late 60s, and started taking my youngest son to a card show down in Murfreesboro, Tennessee back in probably 2001. And me and a buddy of mine decided we'd try a show to see how it goes, and start out with 15 tables, and it's grown to almost 1,000 tables now.
Jeff, 1,000 tables is remarkable, especially from where you've come in 2011. What has been your biggest logistical challenge along the way, and how did you overcome that?
Well, the biggest thing is finding a place that you could have that many tables. And then if it keeps growing like it is now, we're going to outgrow the fairgrounds. I mean, most I could fit in the whole building is about 1,500 tables. So, I mean, if the boom keeps going like it is, we may outgrow the fairgrounds, which that's a goal of mine.
Okay. Hey, listen, I mean, when you get that big, right? I mean, maybe the Coliseum or somewhere in Nashville, but yeah, you've started it at this fairgrounds over the last several years, and it's built up, and it's one of the must attend shows. I mean, we attend it as much as we can, at least once a year, if not several. But you've had 400. How did it grow to 1,000 tables, and how many more people call you to where you kind of cap it off for now?
Well, I cut it off for this show about 2 months ago because I was afraid I'd have more dealers than I would have table space. And then, but now we've been at the fairgrounds. We're finishing our 4th year there. We started in March 4 years ago, and we started out with 350 tables at it. And every show has gotten bigger. And then, which tells me the dealers are making money because a lot of them that might have had 2 or 3 tables have bumped it up to 6 to 10. I mean, the dealers, I'm assuming, are making pretty good money because they keep adding tables.
Speaking of some of the dealers, you have some of the big names that are down in your area. We know Nate from Grand Slam will be there. Matt from Underdog will be there. And I know you have many other like corporates. Like who's going to be there?
As far as corporate, it'll be Beckett, JSA, ComC, and Robert Edward auctions. They'll be there. And then Zion cases, they always come too. And then we've had other corporate people that, as some of these companies have been bought out, they've kind of scaled back on, doing shows. I mean, some of the grading companies.
Sure.
But there again is my show. I try to keep it as a true card show. And I have very few autograph guys because I want to focus on the dealers making the money and having a good time. And this time I've got Andy Freeman. He's an artist for Tops. He's coming back. He comes at least once, twice a year. Then I've got George Foster and Darrell Evans and Denny McClain, which he comes about every show of mine, and then John Warden. And like I said, I may have 2 or 3, but I don't want 50 autograph guys. It takes away from my dealers. And to me, that's the most important thing for a show is to take care of your dealers.
Jeff, as producers, the events themselves tend to be a blur. You're in the moment. There's a lot of different stakeholders, and they tend to go very quickly, the days. Was there a moment along the way throughout the years for you that since 2011 that you realized, wow, this is different. The hobby has grown into something beyond any comprehension. Was there a signature moment or event when you look back that you realized there's really something here?
Yes, it was going before COVID hit. We were, growing pretty big. And then, of course, the mayor of Nashville shut my shows down for a year and a half. So the 4 years ago, we started the fairgrounds after COVID, and that's when it really took off. That's when I saw from the first show we did there was 350 dealers, or 350 tables, excuse me. And I could tell then that there was something good getting ready to happen. And then, but but like I said, when I first started doing the shows in 2011, I guess shows weren't really cool because I was only one of the few shows. I mean, and the way, I mean, a lot of people from Ohio would come because there was no shows there, hardly nowhere. And then, but now every little town and every city, state's got a show now. So
It is, but there's something about Nashville too. I mean, there's the show, but there's the city. It's a great town for people to come and hang out. I know that there's people coming from, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 different states. Do you know if they're like who the farthest is coming?
California, I've got a doer from Utah. I'm trying to think. Texas. I've had some from Colorado, New York. I mean, basically from about every state over the year. I mean, it's Florida, several from Florida, New York. I got a big buyer coming from New York that came back in February. So, I mean, it's not just regional. I mean, I've got people from all across the country that come to the show.
And what's very interesting, and a guy that we've known from your shows, you're probably the best in the business getting people in and out of there, and Ricky Line.
Yep.
Having him is a tremendous asset.
I think we're the only show probably that has somebody like Ricky that gets people in and out and it comes around and gets you changed and gives you a break when you need one. I mean, he's worth his weight in gold.
Terrific. Yeah, he is terrific. We enjoy Ricky.
One of the nicest men you'd ever want to meet too.
Jeff, you mentioned, the dealers are the heartbeat of the show, taking care of them, and Ricky does that, whatever they need. Do you have some advice throughout the years? What can you share with vendors or exhibitors that might be going into their first shows or their first couple of shows? What can you share with them to have the best experience possible at an event?
Well, be well organized and have, all your items priced where you don't have to look them up. Of course, I know a lot of people comp, on eBay or whatever, and just be, and don't get disappointed if you don't do good the first one or two shows, because, the first one you may just break even, but never get discouraged, because when I first started doing my show in 2011, I was telling one of the magazines that wrote an article about my show, if I did this for a living, I would have quit after the first show, because first couple of shows I lost my rear end. But I mean, that was a long time ago. But just never get discouraged, and then, like I said, you never know. You may have a bad show Friday and Saturday and be packing up Sunday, and some guy will come by and drop $8,000 to $10,000 on you. So I mean, that's happened several times at mine. So it's just that the dealers should never get discouraged, and then you need to have fun doing it too.
With a show this size, whether it's 500, 600, even 1,000 tables, how much do you spend with the floor plan or putting people in location? Like, how much time? Like, do people don't really understand that this is not hey, 10 minutes and we're gonna have a card show.
Yeah, you can ask my fiance about that, because it's 24/7 almost 5 days a year. It's just, I mean, it's ongoing. You got to stay on top of it, because I'll get phone calls, text, emails every day, sometimes 20, 30 a day. And since I do other shows, it's a major task just to keep it, straight between the shows. And there are times I do overlook or miss somebody that will call or text me. I'll be honest. I mean, I goof up, because when you get that many contacting, it's easy to miss some people. You got to man up when you do mess up.
Yeah, it happens.
It does.
You mentioned the fairgrounds has a capacity of about 1,500 tables, and
Right.
admittedly, you like to exceed that. What is the vision beyond that? If you could fast forward a little bit, what would is there something with this show that hasn't happened that you'd like to, or something that you have as a vision that where you can take this show?
Well, I've thought about, maybe bringing on more autograph guests, but probably 90% of the dealers do not want much more than what I do bring, because it's truly a true card show. And then, there are a lot of great autograph shows too, but I just want to keep it family oriented, where people have fun, where you don't feel afraid to bring your 5 or 6 year old son or daughter with you. And then, like I said, it's just and as far as the corporate guys, I've had different ones come through the years, but really, I think if you got a couple of Beckett or SGC or PSA and then JSA, that could do grading and authentications, that helps draw people into your shows too. Because there's a lot of people who have, especially in Nashville, there's a lot of people that have, country music autographs on guitars. I mean, you never know what they bring in, so that's a good
right.
too. But
So the other thing that the shows have that I've noticed at your show is the security. And I know that you have police presence walking around the show overnight. Tell people a little bit about that, because that is something that people think about, like, man, should I leave my stuff overnight?
oh,
Should I feel comfortable doing that?
yeah, armed guards that stay all night, and then we have them during the show too. But I guess as far as all shows, is people outside of the card business are starting to see the amount of money at these shows. So security is getting more and more serious now too, because I mean, you can imagine when you've got, almost 1,000 tables and 350, 60 dealers and the crowd. And there's a lot of money, not just my show, but, the Nationals, they went out in Burbank. I mean, basically any shows, 100, 200 tables, there's a lot of money at these shows. And then that's why, I'm beefing up my security more every show for that reason. It's just, I mean, there again is, I would always recommend when you leave a show, never go out by yourself, especially if you're carrying. Need to be at least 2 or 3 people together, because if you're by yourself, bad things are going to happen. I mean,
Absolutely.
That's tremendous advice. Jeff, do you still collect? Are you able
okay.
to get out and go to shows, or is it all a blur?
Well, I enjoy going to other shows that are not mine because I like to be a customer instead of the promoter. But to answer your question, I've been collecting baseball, football cards since 1965. And then over the years, I'll quit for a year or 2 or maybe 5 or 10 and then get back in it. And I collect memorabilia as well, jersey, bats, balls, I mean, all kinds of stuff.
I think that's a 500 home run picture over your shoulder, right?
Yep. And there's some autographed balls up on the wall too.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing in your collection?
I don't really know. I've got so much.
Maybe one day you'll set up at a show and
Well, that's the thing is, I have not set up a show since I first started the show 11 years ago. I mean, 2011 at the school. It's been over 14 years since I've set up at a show. And you can imagine what I've accumulated my dealers. But it's a hobby to me. I mean, of course, unfortunately, the hobby's turning into about a full-time job now.
Yeah.
no question.
Well, Jeff, we really appreciate your time. What you do is aspirational. We have a tremendous amount of respect for the effort and the amount of enthusiasm and energy that go into producing these shows, and you're at the top of your game for that. Let everybody know where the upcoming national, where it can be found, dates, and any additional information.
Okay, the address to the fairgrounds, it's about a mile from downtown Nashville, Broadway. So people, I mean, like y'all were talking about earlier, Nashville has a lot of things to do. I mean, if you're into country music, or they got, the hockey teams downtown, and I mean, there's all kinds of things to do. But the address is 401 Windgrove Street, Nashville, and it's 1 mile from downtown Nashville, and it's easy to get from Interstate 40, 65, and 24. I mean, it's very easy to get to. And then we got this show coming up. And then next year, I finally got it to where the shows will be 4 months apart. Next year will be in February, June, and October. So it's that way it gives people time to reload up on stuff to sell. But it's taking time to spread out 4 months apart. And I try to stay away from the other big shows, but since there's so many now, I mean, you can't avoid it anymore.
You can't.
Can't do it.
You can't. And listen, we love it. We'll be there next week. We always look forward to this show and get there as many times as we can throughout the year. So,
I appreciate you. I mean, we've known it, well, at least 4 years since I've been doing this big show.
Yeah.
Like I said, I hope to see y'all. Well, about a week from today or
Yeah. Yeah, we'll be there next Thursday. We look forward to it. It's always a great time at that show. I enjoy walking around and talking to people just as much as setting up there. So,
Well, I do.
uh,
And when it gets this big, it's hard. I mean, one thing I try to do is I like to get to know all the dealers, just like being a family member.
yeah,
But this many, 300 plus dealers, you just don't have time to go talk to each one of them every time. So, but I do try to get around to talk to everyone,
you do.
to know them. But it's just you don't have much time to talk to that many people, and you don't want to bother them when they're busy too.
But I see you get your steps in. I do
But
notice that,
I
Jeff.
do.
You do. So very good. We appreciate it, and we'll see you next week in Nashville.
All right, buddy. See you guys later.
Cool. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. Our thanks to Jeff Roberts from the Nashville Card Show, otherwise known as the National. Thanks to Joe Wisbierski with Hobby News, Andrew Reimer from Hall of Framers that joined us, Haley as well on the board and out front today with the K-pop news. Thank you to all of you for joining us this evening. Thanks to Giannino's and Collectibles on SI and Sports Cars Nonsense and all of our friends and partners. And most of all, thank you for watching. Catch us every week at 7 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday nights. And of course, the live auction, you can find Alex on eBay Live here coming up at 9 p.m. Tuesday and Thursday nights. Make sure you check out Alex and Greeny. Thanks to you, as always, for letting us do this every week. May the cards forever be in your favor.
Jeremy, another night. We learned a lot of stuff. Impresarios, I think, if that's how you say it. One day we'll get there. Have a good night, everybody.